Nuclear option just got a massive update, which added a new map, new radar simulation, and most importantly, the FS20 Vortex. This stealthy boy is fast, handles. Well, it handles, and looks just as ugly as your mom. Seriously, why did the devs give it the mouth of an F-32? It looks like it has Down syndrome anyways. Looks aside, this thing is great. Because of the new radar system that simulates ground clutter, being sneaky is more than a viable strat. For example, here I am en route to intercept this revoker, and out of nowhere, I get a nail on my RWR. And I'm like, oh shit, what is that? It is too far away for my sensors to ID what it is, and before I can do anything I get a launch warning. It's a Fox 3 and it's close, so I flare like an idiot and smack the water in a mild panic. I check for damage when he fires 2 more Fox 2s. After defeating those, I turn to face this degenerate head on when he finally pops up on my map. He decides to fly upwards, losing his stealth advantage, and eats my Fox 2 for it. His mistake was not turning his radar off. I was already getting nailed by other enemy radar, so he could have easily locked and fired without the use of his radar. But instead he basically gave away his position for free. In this scenario, the enemy fighter makes the same mistake of having his radar on, only this time the brief moment that his weapon bay is open, he pops up for me, so I turn to face him while flaring his missiles and I fire my own. Except this time he fires a Fox 3, and since I don't have time to evade it, I eat it and he survives the fight. So rule number 1 of flying this stealthy boy is turn off your fucking radar. By following this simple rule, you can even sneak past the entire enemy team. Now let's talk handling. As I said before, the Vortex, well, it handles. Oh boy does it handle like a bird covered in wet cement. Granted, it is quite agile thanks to its shorter wings, responding to commands quickly. However, it has poor energy retention. Again, thanks to its short wings. You can pull hard in this aircraft, but not for long, as you will bleed speed quickly and enter a stall, even on full afterburner. It's stable when performing basic maneuvers, however, when it comes to anything remotely extreme, is not a good time. Especially when it's fully combat loaded. However, I am not holding that against it. It is not an air superiority fighter, its purpose is to go unseen, not undefeated. Overloading this thing with missiles defeats the whole point of it being a stealth fighter, because your aircraft will have the radar cross-section of a Boeing 747. So it's best to plan out what type of threat you are going to engage, and keep your payload down and your RCS low. If you want a missile bus, use the Ifrit. Since we're on the topic of handling, let's talk VTOL. The Vortex is this game's first true VTOL aircraft. The Medusa doesn't count because it can't really VTOL when combat loaded. For takeoff, it's great. It drastically reduces the distance needed to take off due to its automatic STOL function. Just slap that baby in drive and watch it go. Vertical and short takeoff allow the techs to refuel and rearm basically in the middle of nowhere. However, this isn't all too practical because you will most likely get downed in combat anyways. The Vortex is an incredible tool for completing single objectives. However, the more you try to stretch this aircraft in terms of capabilities, the more it falters. Other fighters are multi-role in that they can perform multiple types of strikes in one mission extremely well. The techs can perform only one type of mission per flight without too much compromise. This being said, this aircraft is at its best when least compromised, and with a solid focus on a main goal. With the advantage that its stealth provides, it is unmatched in its ability to get somewhere, perform its intended mission, and leave the AO before the enemy even knows they've been hit.